This is lesson 9. Slopes don't have to be positive. Activity 1. Which one doesn't belong? Odd line out. And in this activity, you're supposed to look at these 4 lines and for each one identify a reason that that line doesn't fit with the other 3 lines. And I'm actually not going to use this activity for that purpose. The purpose of this whole lesson is to look at how lines slant, or the slope of the lines. In some cases, they slant from the lower left to the upper right. In other cases, they slant from the upper left to the lower right. And in some cases, they go straight across, horizontally across the page, not shown in these 4 lines. So I just want to review a little bit of what we've done up until now, use this figure to do that, and give you a hint or an idea of where we are going. And so if you look at these 2 lines that cross, this line right here, and this line, the long line that runs from the upper left to the lower right, right here. And if we review how you find the slope of this line, it is the change in the vertical direction. So that change is a positive 1 unit. In this case, you can just count it. So it's a positive 1. And the change in the horizontal direction is a positive 3. So that means that slope is 1/3. For every, the vertical change, the length along the vertical side is 1/3 the length along the horizontal side. And I also show here how you can calculate that. So this is a positive 1 minus 0. So this point right here is 3, 0. So the y-coordinate is a positive 1 minus that 0, if we call this the x-axis. So that equals positive 1. And the x-coordinate is 3 minus 0. So this point right here is at 0, 0. So it's 3 minus that 0. And the y-coordinate is positive 1 minus this 0 right here. This is 3, 0. So this is the start, and this is the end. So you take the end point, which is positive 1, and you subtract this beginning point, which is 0. So again, just a long way of saying that this change is positive 1, this change is positive 3, so the slope is 1/3. Now if we look at this slope triangle, this triangle goes out along the horizontal axis 3 units, so the horizontal change is positive 3, the same 3 units. But now what happens? It goes in the negative direction 1 unit. So this is negative 1. It was positive 1, now it's negative 1. So that slope now is a negative 1/3. So this is a negative slope. When you're in the upper left corner and you go to the lower right corner, that's a negative slope. And the way you calculate that, again, the x value is calculated as, this is 3 units. This is 3 units right here. The x value is 3 minus 0. So this change is 3 units. But now the y value is where it starts is at 0 and it ends at negative 1. So that's negative 1 minus 0. Well, that equals negative 1. So this is a negative 1 change divided by a positive 3 change, or a slope of negative 1/3. So this is different. So now we're going to go in the opposite direction, and we're going to get a negative slope. If you move down here, I'm going to move these same 2 triangles down here, and that shows you once again that this line right here is parallel to this line. And we looked at this a while ago. This is called a transversal, and these are 2 parallel lines, and so their slope triangles are scaled copies of each other. So you can slide these 2 triangles down here, and they fit right in this spot. And so that proves to you that this is a parallel line, and this line has the same slope as this line. But now if we layer on top of that this triangle, which is this black line right here, and so this triangle, so I'm going to move these 2 back up here. Now compare the blue triangle with this red triangle. It was right here. So it had a vertical change of 1 unit. Now it has a vertical change of 2 units. So this slope is 2 units in the vertical direction compared to 3 units in the horizontal direction. So this length right here is 2/3 of this horizontal length. So it's going to go out to right here. would be 2/3. So this slope is a positive 2/3. And once again, the way that you calculate that, if you use this line now as the x-axis, this is 3, 0. So it starts at 0 and it ends at 2. So 2 minus 0 is positive 2. And for the x value, it starts at 0 and ends at positive 3. So this is going to be 3 minus 0. And it looks like I didn't write that down. So that's a positive 3. So the vertical number of units in the vertical direction are 2 units. The number of units in the horizontal direction are 3 units. That makes this slope a positive 2/3. So we're going to look at this in detail throughout this lesson.